puja smarapayami. Shri Shri Sai Baba Namaha. Pavitra Pavitrova Sarvashtatam Gatopiva Yasmaret Kundari Kaksham Savayavantara Suchi. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Bhurбhuva Suvah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat. Om Suklam Bharadram Vishnum Sashivanam Chaturbhujam Prasada Varanam Dhyaye Sarva Vigno Pashantaye. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Brahmanadam Paramasukaram Kevalam Janamurtim Danvatitam Gangasardasham Tattvamasara Ekam Nityam Vimalam Archaram Sarvari Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunatitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Yam. Guru consciousness is bliss absolute, the bestower of ultimate happiness. It is knowledge itself beyond duality, pervasive as the sky. It is the final goal of the statement, Thou art that. It is unity itself, eternal, embellished, and unwavering. It is the witness of all thoughts, beyond all states, and untouched by the three gunas. Om Gum Ganapati Namah. Gum Gum Gurubhyo Namah. Om Gum Gurubhyo Namah. Om Gum Gurubhyo Namah. Om Gum Gurubhyo Namah. Om Shri Sanataya Namaha Vahanam Samarpayami. Om Shri Sanataya Namaha Asanam Samarpayami. Om Shri Sanataya Namaha Pajam Samarpayami. Om Shri Sanataya Namaha Argyam Samarpayami. Om Shri Sanataya Namaha Achanam Samarpayami. Om Shri Sanataya Namaha Sananam Samarpayami. Om Shri Sanataya Namaha Chandanam Samarpayami. Om Shri Sanataya Namaha Akashanam Samarpayami. Om Shri Sanataya Namaha Bhushtanam Samarpayami. Om Shri Sanataya Namaha Pushpam Samarpayami. Om down. Om Shri Sanataya Namaha Nivijam Samarpayami. Om Shri Sanataya Namaha Jal Samarpayami. Om Shri Sanataya Namaha Dupam Samarpayami. Om Shri Sanataya Namaha Deepam Samarpayami. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Kandalandamandalakaram Diptayena Trikaram Tatpradam Darshtitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Om. The Guru creates a new life for the devotee, sustains it, and destroys all limitations. He is truly one with the Supreme Reality. To that great Guru, salutations. Salutations to the great Guru who reveals that state of supreme consciousness which permeates all of creation, both animate and inanimate. Om Shri Sanatanama Namaskaram Samarpayami. Arti Samarpayami. Shri Shirdi Sai Baba Namaha. Om Jai Jagadish Hare Swami Shirdi Sai Hare Bhakta Janam Samrakshaka Bhakta Janam Samrakshaka Shiri Maheshwara Om Jai Jagadish Hare Sri Shivaranam Shri Kara Sarva Pranapataye Swami Sarva Pranapataye Ahashrita Kalpalatika Ahashrita Kalpalatika Apadbandava Om Jai Jagadish Hare Mata Pita Gurudev Mo Mariam Tayanihive Swami Mariam Tayanihive Narara Brahma Jagannatha Narara Brahma Jagannatha Nagendraya Sharaya Om Jai Jagadish Hare Omkara Rupa Hare Shiva Sai Mahadeva Shirdi Sai Mahadeva Mahangala Harati Anduka Mahangala Harati Anduka Mandara Giri Hare Om Jai Jagadish Hare Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana 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 Om Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Jai Sadguru Deva Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana 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 Om Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Jai Sadguru Deva Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana 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 Om Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Jai Sadguru Deva Om Shanti 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 Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu 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 loka samasta. 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 Sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Akilanda Koti Brahma Dhanayaka Rajadi Rajayogi Raja Parabrahma Satchitananda Samat Satguru Shri Bhagavan Shirdi Sainath Maharaja Ki.
Jai.
Akilanda Koti Brahma Dhanayaka Rajadi Rajayogi Raja Parabrahma Satchitananda Samat Satguru Shri Nanda Mahima Maharaja Ki.
Jai.
Akilanda Koti Brahma Dhanayaka Rajadi Rajayogi Raja Parabrahma Satchitananda Samat Satguru Shri Shankaracharya Maharaja Ki.
Jai.
Paramam pavitram bhava vibhutim paramam vichitram lila vibhutim paramahatma istadamoksha pradatam bhava vibhutim vidivam smarami Sai Baba vibhutim satatam smarami Shirdi Sai Vibhutim Manasam Smarami. Om 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 Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurmam Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Sana Bhavantu Sano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavavahai Tejasvina Vaditamastu Mavidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Om Sai, Shri Sai, Jai Jai Sai.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev. Mellow blessings and welcome to y'all here. Thursday, Guruvar, Sai Baba Day. As we continue our weekly reading from the Sai, Sri Sai Satcharita, we move on to the 20th chapter. In this chapter, Hemdapant describes how Dasganu's problem was solved by Dixit's maid servant. Perimilary. God was originally formless. He assumed a form for the sake of the bhaktas. With the help of Maya, he played the part of an actor in the big drama of the universe. Let us remember and visualize Sri Sai. Let us go to Shirdi and see carefully the program after the noon Arti. After the Arti ceremony was over, Sai used to come out of the masjid and, standing on its edge, distribute vibhuti to the devotees with a very kind and gracious and loving look. The bhaktas also got up with equal fervor. collapsed at his feet and had the bliss of the vibhuti. Baba passed handfuls of udi into the palms of the devotees and marked their foreheads with udi with his own hands. The love he bore for them in his heart was boundless. Then he addressed the bhaktas. "Oh, Bau, go home and take your lunch. You, Anna, go to your lodgings. You, Bapu, enjoy your meal." In this way, he accosted each and every devotee and sent them home. Even now, you can have the pleasure of these sights if you bring into your play your imagination. Now, bring Sai in your mental vision. Let us meditate upon him, for from his feet upwards to his face, prostrating before him, humbly, loving, and reverently. The Isha Upanishad. Das Ganu once started to write a Marathi commentary on the Isha Upanishad. Let us first give a brief idea of this Upanishad before proceeding further. It is called the Mantropanishad, and it is embodied in the mantras of the Vedic Santa. It constitutes the last or the 40th chapter of the Vajrasanya Shanti, the Yajurved, and is therefore called the Vajrasayani Shetopanishad. Being embodied in Vedic Shastras, this is regarded as superior to all other Upanishads, which are in the Brahmacaryas and the Armakaryas, the treatises on mantras and rituals. Not only this, the other Upanishads are considered to be commentaries on truth, mentioned briefly in the Isha Upanishad. For instance, the biggest of the Upanishads, the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, is considered by Pandit Satwaltika to be running commentary on the Isha Upanishad. Professor Arti Randai says, the Isha Upanishad is quite a small Upanishad, and yet it contains many facts, which show an extraordinary piercing insight. Within the short compass of 18 verses, it gives a valuable and mystical description of the Atman, a description of the ideal sage who stands unruffled in the myths of temptations and sorrows, and an underration of doctrine of karma yoga as later formulated. The most valuable idea that lies at the root of this Upanishad is that of a logical synthesis between the two opposites of knowledge and work, which are both required according to the Upanishad to be annulled in the higher synthesis. In another place he says that the poetry of the Upanishad is a commixture of mortal, mystical, and metaphysical knowledge. From a brief description given above about this Upanishad, one can see how difficult it is to translate this Upanishad in a vernacular language and bring out its exact meaning. Das Ganu translated it in Marathi, of meter, verse by verse, but as he did not comprehend this gist of essential of the Upanishad, he was not satisfied with his performance. On being dissatisfied, he consulted some learned men regarding his doubts and difficulties, and discussed it with them at great length. They did not solve them, nor did they give him any rational or satisfactory explanation. So Das Ganu was little restless over this matter. Sadguru only contemplate and qualified to explain. As we have seen, this Upanishad is the quintessence of the Vedas. It is the science of self-realization. It is the sheath or weapon which can render asurs, or the bondage of life and death, and make us free. Therefore, he thought that he who has himself attained in self-realization can only give the true and correct interpretation of the Upanishad. When nobody can satisfy Das Ganu, he resolved to consult Sai Baba about this. When he got an opportunity to go to Shirdi, he saw Sai Baba, prostrated himself before him, and mentioned his difficulties about the Isha Upanishad, and requested him to give him a correct solution. Sai Baba blessed him and said, "You need not be anxious. There is no difficulty about the matter. The maidservant of Kaka will solve your doubts at Virudiparte on your way home." The people who were present there and heard this thought that Baba was joking, and said, "How could an illiterate maidservant solve difficulties of this mystic nature?" But Das Ganu thought otherwise. He was sure that whatever Baba spoke must come true, and Baba's word was the decree of Brahma. Kaka's maidservant. Fully believing Baba's word, he left Shirdi and came to a suburb of Mumbai and stayed at Kakaseb Dixit's house. There, the next day, when Das Ganu was enjoying his morning nap, he heard a poor girl singing a beautiful song in clear and melodious tone. The theme of the song was crimson-colored sari. How nice it was! He was fine, and it was embroidered in red. How beautiful were its borders! He liked the song so much that he came out and saw that it was being sung by a young girl, the sister of Namya, who was the servant of Kakusheb. The girl was cleaning vessels and had only torn rag on her person. On seeing her impoverished condition and her happy temperament, Das Ganu felt pity for her, and when Rao Bandhor gave him a pair of dhotas to the next day, he requested him to give a sari to the poor little girl also. Rao bought a good charti, a small sari, and presented it to her. Like a starved person getting delicious dishes to eat, her joy knew no bounds. The next day she wore the new sari, and out of great joy and merit, whirled and danced around and played fudgadi with other girls. The following day she kept the new sari in her box at home and came in the old and torn rags, but she looked as merry as she previously was. On seeing this, Das Ganu's pity transformed into admiration. He thought that the girl, being poor, had to wear a torn rag, but now she had a new sari, which she kept in reserve, and putting on the old rag, shuddered herself, showing no trace of sorrow or dejection. Thus he realized that all of our feelings and pain and pleasure depend upon the attitude of our mind. On thinking deeply over this incident, he realized that a man ought to enjoy whatever God has bestowed upon him, in the firm conviction that he beseeches everything from all sides, and that whatever is bestowed on him by God must be for his good. In this particular case, the impoverished condition of this girl, her torn rag and her new sari, the donor, the donee, and the deal were all parts of the Lord and pervaded by him. Here, Das Ganu got practical demonstration of the lesson of the Upanishad, the lesson of contentment with one's own lot, with the belief that whatever happens is ordained by God and is ultimately good for us. The unique method of teaching. From the above incident, the reader will see that Baba's method was unique and varied. Though Baba never left Shirdi, he sent some to Machagrandigin, some to Kolpur and some to Solarpur, for practicing sadhanas. To some he appeared in his usual form, to some he appeared in waking or dream states, day or night, and satisfied their desires. It is impossible to describe all the methods that Baba used in imparting instructions to his bhaktas. In this particular case, he sent Das Ganu to Villapardi, where he got his problem solved through the maidservant. To those who say that it is not necessary to send away Das Ganu and that Baba could have personally taught him, we say that Baba followed the right or best course, and how else could Das Ganu learn a great lesson that the poor maidservant and her sari were pervaded by the Lord. Now we close this chapter with another beautiful extract about this Upanishad, the ethics of the Isha. One of the main features of the Isha Upanishad is the ethical advice it offers, and interesting to note that the ethics of the Upanishad are definitely based upon the metaphysical position given in it. The very opening words of the Upanishad tell us that God pervades everything. As a corollary from the metaphysical position, the ethical advice it offers is that a man ought to enjoy whatever God bestows on him in firm belief, that as he pervades everything, whatever is bestowed on him by God must be good. It follows naturally that the Upanishad forbids us from coveting another man's property. In fact, we are fittingly taught here a lesson of contentment with one's own lot, in the belief that whatever happens is divinely ordained, and hence it is good for us. Another moral advice is that man must spend his lifetime always in doing action, specifically the karmas enjoined in the Shastras, with resignation to his will. Inactivity, according to this Upanishad, would be the canker of the soul. It is only when a man spends his life in doing actions in this manner that he can hope to obtain the ideal of Nashikarma. Finally, the text goes on to say that a man who sees all beings in the self and sees the self as existing in all beings, in fact, for whom all beings and everything that exists have become the self, how can such a man suffer infatuation? What ground would such a man have for grief? Loathfulness. Infatuation and grief rarely proceed from our not being able to see the Atman in all things, but a man who realized the oneness of all things, for whom everything has become the self, must, ispo facto, cease to be affected by the common foibles of humanity. Bows to Sri Sai, peace be to you all. Om Sai Sri Sai, Jai Jai Sai. Om Sai Shri Sai Jai Sai Jai Guru Jai Guru Vader. Happy and blessed Thursday to all of you here. May Baba's blessings and energy be with you today. May we impart the lesson of today's reading, understanding that all things are ineffable, all things are a gift from the Almighty, and it is up to our perception as how we perceive these things outside of us, as how they truly are, as all things are perfect, finding the perfection in the notingly imperfection of judgment, but the perfection of all perfections. Jai Guru, thanks for being with us. Laura, Krista, we have a new subscriber, Tommy Thunder, welcome. And Krista says she loves Ganesh, so we gotta keep go. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, Jai Shri Ganesha. Om Hum Hanimataye Namaha, Om Hum Hanimataye Namaha. Hrim Om Namah Shivaya, Hrim Om Namah Shivaya. Om Tat Sat Om. Jai Guru, Jai Ma. We're just moving into the first quarter of this new moon cycle, of this moon, of this energy of cultivating and bringing forth our intentions. With steadfast energy, we move together forward with grace and energy and protection of these great beings that have gone before us. Peace and blessings to all. Om Shrima Jai Jai Ma.